Welcome to Total Body Kettlebell. You'll need one kettlebell, 5 to 20 pounds, and a mat. We're going to start out with kettlebell swings. Hold on to the top, and we're going to work our way up to full range of motion. You want to swing that kettlebell through your legs, but you're using your legs and your hips to thrust it forward, not your arms. Make sure as you're coming down that you are bending those knees and swinging through. And as you come up, you're going, maybe a little bit higher than shoulder height. Make sure you're swinging all the way through your legs and up. Hold your core tight. Hold your backside tight. And make sure as you're coming up that you are using those hips to thrust the weight forward, not your arms or shoulders. Just a few more of these, and we're going to go to halo, balancing on one leg. So hold your right leg knee up and move that kettlebell slowly around to the back side of your head and all the way to the front. It might be a little bit difficult to balance. Go at your own pace. You can slow it down if you need to. Really concentrate on holding that kettlebell and moving it all around your head. You can have a soft knee on that straight leg to give you a little bit better balance. Don't worry if you have to drop that bent leg down for just a second to get your balance. Just go right back into it. Hold your core nice and tight. The more still you can hold your body, the better, and the more you're working your core. Almost there. The next exercise is high pull with alternating lunges to the back. So we're going to start out with a high pull, elbows right to the ceiling. Gently set the kettlebell on the floor. Right leg back, high to the ceiling, left leg back. Make sure that you're really getting a good, deep stretch, a big range of motion when you are lunging to the back. And the same leg that goes back, you want that same arm up to the ceiling. You can go ahead and move your head towards that same direction and look to the ceiling as well. When you're doing this exercise, make sure that you are not dropping the kettlebell in front of you as you're going down. You really want to have control over your body movements as well as the kettlebell at all times. It's important to go at a pace for this exercise where you feel like you have the best form. We're going to do just a few more of these, and then we're going to go back into the halos, but this time we're going to do them on the left side. So you want to bring that left knee up, hold on to your kettlebell with both hands, and start going in the direction of that bent knee. This is the opposite direction we went the first time. Remember, nice and slow and controlled. It is more of a balance movement, so you want to keep your core nice and tight. You can keep that supporting knee just a little bit soft if it's easier to balance. Try to keep that knee as close to your straight leg as possible. You want to keep that back nice and straight, and it helps to balance if you can find something on the wall that you can focus on. So the next exercise is kettlebell swings, but we're going to pivot, alternating right and left. So we'll do a few swings here to get the momentum going, and then you're going to move that back right leg and swing, and then back to the front, and then move your left leg back through. So as you come up, You're pivoting. Swing down through, come up, pivot to the front. Come up, pivot to the right. Come up, pivot to the front, and so on. Make sure as you're doing this that your arms are nice and straight. And again, you're using your hips to move the weight forward. You're not using your arms. So this should be a lot of leg, booty, and hip work rather than upper body. Almost there. The next exercise is going to be roll-up. So you stand at the edge of your mat and holding onto your kettlebell at chest level. You roll down, straighten all the way out, toes are straight, come back up. Arms to the ceiling. Roll it down, kettlebell overhead, come back up, kettlebell to the ceiling. So this is really a good one to stretch out your whole body because you're stretching when you're on the mat, your toes are pointed, your kettlebell is overhead, and you really have to control that kettlebell as you're bringing it over your head while you're on the mat. And then with the momentum, you're coming back up and pushing that kettlebell to the ceiling. It's also a good amount of core work because you have to use your core to get up and down off of the mat. And it's a nice, slow, and controlled exercise. Which brings me to the next exercise, Russian twists with the kettlebell. So for this next exercise, we're going to sit on the mat, knees are bent, and you're back in that starting position like you would do for a Russian twist, but instead we're using the kettlebells. If you want the more intense modification, you can pull your toes and feet up off the mat and balance on your booty while you're doing this. Just make sure that your back is back far enough that your abs are engaged. So we're almost there for the next exercise, which is kettlebell swings. So we're going to go back to the beginning here and do a few to get the momentum going. So again, you're swinging through, you're using your legs and your hips and your butt. You're not using your upper body. You want the kettlebell to be just a little bit maybe higher than shoulder height when you come up. Kind of like a pendulum. Your arms are really just holding on to the kettlebell so that you can swing through, but all the work is really being done in the lower body. So what I noticed when I first started doing kettlebell swings is that the next day my whole body was a little bit sore. I was kind of surprised because the exercise itself doesn't seem that difficult, but it really is a great total body exercise. If you don't have a lot of time and you did a little bit of cardio and some kettlebell swings, it's really a good combination. So the next exercise we're going to go is back to the high pulls with the alternating lunge. So again, elbows are to the ceiling. You're doing this nice and controlled movement. Make sure that you are not dropping that kettlebell in front of you when you come down. And then lunging backwards, make sure you get a good range of motion, a good stretch, not only through your hips and your legs with the lunging, but also through your chest as you're pulling that arm straight to the ceiling. Okay, we're almost there. Just a few more on each side. And then we're going to go to the next exercise, which are pass-throughs. So what that is is, see there, I'm passing the kettlebell through my legs. So make sure that you are definitely bending your legs as you're passing them through. Make sure that you leave enough room for clearance so that you don't bang your leg or your knee with the kettlebell as you're passing it through. Again, you're really using all of your body to do this exercise, and it's not that difficult of an exercise, but it really kind of gets in there with a lot of your muscles. And because you're having to control the momentum, you're using your core. So we're going to have a few more of these, and then we're going to go into the kettlebell swings that we did earlier in this segment with the alternating pivot to the right and left. So here we're going to start out and get our momentum going and get our kettlebell up to the range of motion, just higher. Actually, this one is all the way up. Then you pivot back to the front, pivot back to the other side. So if you notice too here, I'm keeping my head in line with my back. I'm not looking up, I'm not looking down. I'm trying to keep my head in the same movement, in the same direction as my upper body is going. And again, just like a regular kettlebell swing, you're still using your hips and your butt and your legs. This just adds another dimension to the kettlebell swings, which, like I said, is a total body exercise. So we're going to do a few more of these to each side, and then we're going to go to the next exercise, which is roll-ups. So you're rolling down, pointing your toes, making sure that you bring those arms up above your head. And then as you come up, you want to push that kettlebell to the ceiling for an overhead press. You're using your arms, your core, your lower body. Make sure that you're breathing. Now you can do all of these exercises with a dumbbell, but I think that the kettlebell adds a little bit different dimension to the exercise. Anytime you change out a piece of equipment, you're always changing the way you use it just a little bit. So we're going to do a few more of these, and then the last exercise is we're going to go back into the Russian twists with the kettlebell. So sit down on your booty, your legs are bent, and you're really controlling that. So these Russian twists, I was really sore the next day after I tried these. And again, I think it just adds a different dimension with the kettlebell versus a dumbbell or a ball. The kettlebell requires your obliques. It really engages your obliques to stop the momentum of the kettlebell as it swings to each side. So definitely stretch when you're done with this segment. You should always warm up and cool down and stretch before and after every exercise segment. If you need to take a break, you can do so. If you want it to be more intense, you can lift your feet up off the floor. Just make sure you're far enough back that your abs are engaged for the entire exercise, and be sure to breathe while you're doing these. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.